burner we had last night, I'll go to bed and sleep for a week. That was an exhausting game just to watch. Fun to be around, fun to be with. So
I think my nerves are frazzled from last night's game against Wyoming Indian to our middle school game this afternoon against Burlington. For those of you who weren't able to attend, it was a really close game. The Huskies came out on top just by 4 points there at the end. There again, a very close, tight game, and just has my nerves just a little on edge when it gets that close and that exciting. We want to mention a little bit and think a little bit tonight. We didn't really go over that last night, but we've got a new computer here that we're able to look at stats a little bit better. Richard and I, over the last couple of years, as we announce the game, we do a pretty good job at keeping track of things like points and fouls, but when it comes down to the breakdown into assists and rebounds, turnovers, we have a difficult time keeping up with both announcing and keeping track of those. And so they've provided us this year with a computer, and so what we do is we get stats that come directly down from the bench that enables us to break it down into all aspects of the game. And we want to thank Coach Simmons and John Bernheisel for setting that up, and then thank Emily Bernheisel and I think Heather Monk, who both help take those stats during the game to provide them to us.
Boy, and they had sure a test last night with it as two teams were running, shooting so fast. Several turnovers. They were having to enter an awful lot of information into a computer on the run, and they did a good job for us.
Yeah.
For the team. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I also want to offer my apologies to those individuals who may tune in here at halftime instead of the beginning of this game. When I announced the time at 7 o'clock last night, I went directly off the little information sheet in front of me and had not double-checked that time, and I apologize for those of you who may tune in a little too late tonight.
Yes, it is a 6 o'clock start here. We should be getting going. Well, we got a minute 30 to go, so we getting going here real soon.
Yeah. We'd like to make mention our cheerleaders did an excellent job last night. I haven't seen them here tonight.
Well, they were here earlier. I know they're probably getting a little bit of a break before this game. I did see them there during the JV game too. So.
But I want to at least acknowledge those individuals who take part in cheerleading. Our junior varsity cheerleaders are Kenny Rivera, Sierra Coleman, Taylor Elton, Kelsey Hoyt, Heather Sanders, and Kirsten Donnelly. Our varsity cheerleaders are Emily Harris, Aspen Coleman, Shirley Lynn, and Caitlin Sorensen. And we just want to make mention of that because as we go throughout some of these athletic events throughout the year, oftentimes they're not mentioned, and they play into the game just as well as those players, as they can bring the crowd into it, and that can have a huge impact.
Absolutely, and here we're getting the excuse me at home. We're getting the pregame Join the Ride discussion again, emphasizing sportsmanship, sportsmanship for the players, for the fans, for the parents, for everybody involved. So the ride involves the respect, integrity, dedication, and encouragement, and how to properly and appropriately do those things at games. And we are now ready for the national anthem. So we'll
turn the time over. I'm not sure who's doing it.
It's the Pledge of under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sorry, they caught us a little unaware there. They did the pledge instead of singing the national anthem there. Okay, they're just announcing our fan of the week, and our super fan of the week is Pat Winland. Right now, he's been a huge asset to the community and to the sporting programs at Rocky. He has just turned in his hat for football, but we definitely appreciate the time he has put in to helping with the kids. And now for our starters. Starting for Tongue River, we've got number 13, Brock Hovey. Number 15, Michael Tucker. Number 31, Ryan Dunn. Number 33, Irwin Falls Down. And I missed the last one, who they said. I want to say it was 43.
I believe it was Stephen Yellowtail right off the back with 11, but I could be wrong there.
So we'll catch that last one for you. And now for our Rocky Mountain Grizz.
Start off with the senior, number 21, Luis Gerardo. A bunch of seniors here for the Grizzlies. As we come to another senior, number 22, Corey Hawker. Moving right up the row here, number 23, another senior. At guard there, Adam Alvarado. Then number 31, another senior, Lane Friedley. And your last senior there, number 44 at guard, Carlos Hernandez.
We'd like to say our coaches tonight for Tongue River Eagles are Larry Moser and Marty Masters. And for Rocky Mountain, our coaches are Michael Simmons, Scott Crosby, Josh Sponsel, and then volunteering to help is Nick Wilson and Nick Sponsel. And let's see, I'm looking, it was number 43, Michael Korp was that last starter for Tongue River. And we get ready as team members shook hands. And this tip is up, and it's good. Hawker bounces it back to Alvarado. He'll have it at the top. He's guarded by 15, Tucker. He'll swing it around to Carlos Hernandez on that left wing. He's looking for help. He'll take a dribble towards the basket, a little lob shot, and that's up and good.
Nice little teardrop there for Carlos as he got Delane, took it down in the middle.
Yep. Hovey will take the ball up. He gets it over to Corp on that left wing, then back up to Tucker, and they'll swing it around to Dunn on that right wing. Dunn has it, and that ball's tipped out of bounds by Hawker as he was defending Dunn. So Tongue River will keep it. Can't see who's taking it out of bounds, but they get it in to Irwin Falls Down, and I remember him from last year. They get it to Tucker. He'll take a shot, and they're going to say that was worth 2. Real close to the three-point line there.
Far enough underneath we couldn't see him.
Yeah. Alvarado has it. He gets a little pressure, but it gets it off to Hernandez. He'll take about a 15-foot shot. That's just long, and 13, Hovey comes up with it quickly down to Corp. He drives towards the basket, but Luis there to stop him. They'll dish it back to Tucker for a long shot. That won't fall, and Hawker gets the rebound. So here come our Rocky Mountain Grizz. Alvarado has it at the top. He's looking, gets it to Hernandez on the left wing. He hands it back to Alvarado. He'll take a couple of dribbles and bring it to the point. Over to Luis Gerardo. Then swings it down to Alvarado, and then Hawker, who'll drive it towards the basket. He just got pushed a little too far underneath, and that shot won't go. So Tucker has the ball, brings it up. He gets it over to Hovey at the top. Back to Tucker on that right wing, and they swing around the perimeter over to Corp on the left. They catch Tucker, but it looks like there's going to be a foul away from the ball.
A foul on Falls Down. As he came with that screen, he was a little too late, and he was still moving when he came into the defender, and that's going to be a foul on Falls Down, first foul of the game.
So it'll be Rocky Mountain's ball. It's tied right now, 2-2. 6 left in the first period. Alvarado has it and brings it down to the right side of the court. He'll dribble towards the basket, then give it back to Hawker. He'll dribble towards it, tries to dish it off to Freely, but number 33, Irwin Falls Down, is there for the rebound, but then a violation over and back as Irwin Falls Down trying to get it to Tucker, and he hadn't quite crossed that half-court line
He
yet.
jumped from the back court to the front court, but when you're in the air, it still counts from where you jump from, even if you are over the line. So
Yeah, he tried hard, but not quite. Alvarado has it on that right wing. He's going to drive, bring it back out, give it to Hawker, and then he decides to give it to Alvarado for a long three, and that won't fall, and Irwin falls down, gets the rebound. Quickly to Hovey, who gets it down to, I think, let me see.
it's going to be Dunn.
Dunn took the shot. That pass was by Corp, and Dunn was fouled on the shot.
It's going to be on Hawker. That's his first, but that is going to be a 2-shot foul here. Each team with a foul now.
They get down in that right corner, and sometimes I can't see who it is, and especially first quarter trying to learn who the kids are.
That first one is good for Dunn. He will get another one.
Second shot's up, and it's all net. Bringing our score to 4-2. Tongue River leads it. Alvarado seeing just a little pressure, he gets it over, and they try and set a little trap, but number 43 Corp not quite set, and they're going to call him with the foul.
Yeah, you got to get, when you set up that trap, you got to get clear and put your foot on that baseline, get it to where they have nowhere to go, and that time he didn't. Adam was able to get by, and so he bodied him up, got called for it.
Alvarado brings it into Hernandez. They catch Luis coming across, but he swings it back out to Alvarado. He'll drive towards the basket, tries to dish it off of Freely. It's off his leg and bounces back to Alvarado. They give it to Hawker on the right wing and then back to Alvarado. He's looking, gets it to Hernandez at the top, and they're going to set up here again. So Hernandez swings it to Gerardo on the left, and then up to Alvarado at the top. He gets a screen, but dishes off to Hernandez, and then sets a screen. Carlos dribbles around and banks it up and in.
Nice jump stop there by Carlos. Found some space.
And he's got all 4 points so far. Hovey has it, gets it over to Corp on that right, and then back to Irwin falls down. Gets it to number 15, and then Tucker, who gets it down to Corp, who turns around, banks it up and in, and is fouled.
Actually, that didn't go up and in, but he was fouled on the shot as that banked off just long, but that's going to be a foul on Gerardo there as Luis bumped into him.
I'm still trying to learn all these Tongue River names. And that first shot by Corp is up and good. He'll get one more, and coming in for Rocky Mountain is Brandon Foster as
Luis Gerardo's going to sit down.
Down. Second shot's up and good for Corp. Hernandez has the ball. They're seeing a little pressure, and the turnover there by Rocky Mountain is that pass too long. Tucker brings it up to Hovey. He gets it down to Dunn. His shot's just long, and Friedley's there for the rebound. It's one thing about Lane. He's quite frequently involved there in some of those rebounds that are brought down.
Well, he takes that down. He controls that. He takes it away and makes sure that he has control.
Yep. Hawker had it on the wing. He drive towards the basket, and he's going to be fouled on his way in. But that foul is going to be on the floor, and will stay with Rocky Mountain down underneath. Oh, let's say they're going to call a travel before the contact, and so it'll be a turnover.
The officials get together and talk that over and make sure they get that right.
Yep. Tucker has the ball at the top. He gets it over to Hovey on the right. Then down to Corp as he was cutting through, and back out to Tucker. He'll drive towards the basket, dish it off to Irwin, falls down, and they're going to catch him with a travel.
Yeah,
as he just picked up that pivot foot before he put that ball down.
He wanted to go to the basket, and Lane got there faster than he thought he would. Left him nowhere to go but to walk. So.
Yep. Little token pressure here from Tongue River. Alvarado getting pressure. He gets it over, but almost trapped. He gets it to Hawker, who then dishes to Freely. He'll try a shot and banks it up and in.
Good. They're setting up that token pressure, and they turn it into a pretty nice half-court trap. Adams been able to dribble around it, but I'm betting they're going to make that tougher to beat.
Tucker gets it to Irwin, falls down, who tries to turn around for a shot, loses the ball going up, and there to gather it in is Foster. So here comes Rocky Mountain. Our score is tied 6-6 with 3 minutes left in the first. Alvarado gets it over to Hawker on the right wing. He swings it around the perimeter from Foster to Hernandez. Hernandez has it on the left wing, and he takes a long three. That bounces off the backboard to the right, and here comes Tongue River. And let's see, Tucker gets it down to Irwin falls down, and he's going to be fouled, I think, by Friedley on the arm prior to that going out of bounds.
Yeah, and that's going to be Lane's first foul.
Actually, I have second. I think I put the wrong foul in.
I have one on Hawker, one on Gerardo, and one on Friedley now.
Yep.
They bring it in, gets it in, it's a shot up by Dunn. It rolls off, controlled by KJ, as KJ has come in for Lane. And here comes Adam, he'll walk it up.
He has it on the point, he's guarded by Tucker. He swings it over to Foster on the left wing. He's looking, gets it to Hernandez at the top. They swing it around to Alvarado for a long three from the right. That's just long, and therefore the rebound is done. He'll get it quickly to Hovey. He has it at the top. He gets it over to Corp on that right wing, and they swing it down to Hovey in the right corner, and then around the perimeter ends up in Arn falls down hands. He gets it to Hovey, and then back to Arn falls down for a shot that sees no iron and ends up in the Grizzlies' hands. So here they come. Alvarado gets it to Hernandez in that right corner. He's looking, long pass over to the left corner to Hawker, then over to Alvarado. He'll bring it to the point and over to Hernandez on the right. They lob it in to KJ. He pauses for a minute and then banks it up and in.
Good job gaining his feet there, letting the defender go by and putting that right off the board and in.
Yeah, nice pass there too by Hernandez. So Tucker gets it over to Irwin falls down in that right corner. They swing it up to Hovey at the top, and then they catch Tucker cutting that back lane, and he banks it up and in for two.
Almost taken away there by Carlos. Just missed that steal, and it left him alone underneath.
Yeah.
So
he went past him, and that enabled him to have an open shot. Alvarado in a little trouble, but he gets it to Hernandez as they're doubling everybody at the top, but they're able to get it to Blackburn. He can't get his shot to connect, and then a pass up to Tucker real quick. He'll shoot about a 15-footer that's just skims the front iron, and KJ gets the ball and then is going to be fouled by Tucker.
Again, good strong grip there on the ball by KJ. That might have been slapped away. I don't think he saw the guy behind him, but had a good hold on the ball and didn't lose it.
Yeah, 44.4 left to go in the first. Our score's tied 8-8.
They're setting up that trap
bring
again.
The ball. They get it to Foster in the middle of the perimeter, then to Hernandez and over to Hawker in the right corner. Then Hernandez gets it to Foster on the block. He dishes to Hawker and then over to KJ. That shot's off the right, but Hawker there to tip it back out to Hernandez. So 21 seconds left. Alvarado has the ball. He'll bring it at the point over to Hawker on that right corner wing. They swing it long pass over to Alvarado on the left wing and then back to Hernandez at the top.
Under 10.
Under 10. They'll set things up. Hernandez is going to pull up to shoot a three. He can't get it. And BJ there for the
KJ, rather. He gets that rebound. He gets tied up with an eagle, but he puts that back up and in. He is fouled. There's no time left on the clock, but the basket is good, and he will get one more free throw here.
I have to admit, we've got KJ and BJ, and even though I know Brandon likes to be called by Brandon versus BJ, so many kids refer to him as BJ, I'm getting all my initials messed
Way too many J's
tonight.
there, but.
So KJ has one shot here. It's up, and he's unable to connect. So at the end of one, it's our Rocky Mountain Grizz 10 and Tongue River Eagles 8.
Now that was the first free throw I had of for the Grizz tonight.
Yeah.
And now we're looking at our computer tonight, and right now our screen's just completely blank as if nothing's happened. So we're going to give you what we've got on our papers, but
Yeah, right now I've got both KJ and Carlos with 4 points and Lane with 2 for a total of 10. Then I've got Tucker with 4 for the Eagles and both Corp and Dunn with a set of 2 from the free throw line. They've gone 100% from the free throw line so far here.
4 of 4 for half of their points, yep.
Yep. As far as fouls, both teams with Rocky Mountain has 3 team fouls, whereas Tongue River has 4.
And I have missed, I missed that last foul. I'm not sure who that last foul was on.
They didn't post who it was on, and so I'm not sure who they called it on.
So we'll have to watch and see. I know there's one floating out there. So here we go, second half. We got some new players in as 35 Tippett. He swings that over to
Yellowtail, I believe.
No, that's over to Dunn. Dunn comes down the right side, lays it up. It's long. Back out. Tippett has the ball at the top. BJ on him. Brandon, I mean. Gets it back out to Yellowtail. Has it left side way at the top, way outside. Adam on him. Adam stays with him. Swings that over again to Tippett. Gets that ball in. Hawker's on Dunn. Turnaround jumper is up and good for Dunn. Ties that game at 10. And they bring that ball up, and here comes that half-court trap again. They swing that ball into Corey right at the top. He comes underneath. He finds KJ. Gets it to Brandon right underneath. Misjudged the shot there, and that was long. Taken away by Tongue River, and here they come. Tucker has it on the right side outside. Gets that. He's got manned up tight there by Carlos. It's tapped away off of 2 Grizzlies, and it is out of bounds. That's going to stay with Tongue River. As we're going to get a sub in the game, as Corp's going to come back in and give Dunn a break. The Grizzlies will stay set with what they've got. Tippett's looking to bring that ball in. Brandon's in front of him. Tall guy to get that ball in, but they bring it in. Yellowtail has it at the top. Alvarado on him. Tippett's on the right side. Brandon on him. Over to Falls down. Back over to I believe that's Tucker.
Yep.
Drives the middle, and no one cuts him off. He goes straight through to the basket and puts that in, as no one was able to get in front of the ball on that one. That's a 2-point Tongue River lead as Adam brings it up. They pass the ball. They break that press with it. And again, underneath for KJ, who misses that layup again. He puts the rebound back up, gets that back in, and ties that game up. Good passing to break that press, give him an easy layup there. Tucker has on the right side. Carlos on him. Picks up his dribble, looks for help. Still looking around, and I think I hear timeout called from the Tongue River bench, and that's what it is.
Good call there by Tongue River. I think that coach saw that he was getting a little trouble. His men weren't coming to the ball, and so a quick timeout there to prevent a 5-second call.
Well, KJ tonight, I don't know if he was in a boxing match or something before the game, but right now his hands, when he's putting those layups up, they're just going up a little strong each time. I think as he relaxes, gets to the flow of the game, those will start to drop in. We've seen him put many of those down, and I know those will fall. And even as it is, he's gotten his rebound twice and put him in. He's got 6 points, actually leads the Grizz tonight with 6 points. So they're getting ready. As I know this ball will be Tongue River ball. About 6:20 to play here in the second quarter. Tie game at 12. They quickly bring it in. It's tapped away. And as Carlos taps that ball away, Tucker tries to take it back and gets a lot of hand, as that's the second foul on Tucker. And that will be ball out of bounds for the Grizz as they set up a full court press. And I'm not sure if the bigs for Rocky know what they're doing here with this yet.
We've got a problem here is we've got 2 guards in and
he swings it across, barely gets it at him, but it ends up giving him an open lane. He's short on that layup. Here they are coming back, kind of a 2-on-1. As Yellowtail, no one takes ball, and he just goes all the way in. Didn't make him pass, didn't make him do anything, so he'll get that. They bring it up quickly. Brandon has it, left side outside, swings it up to Carlos, almost taken away, but Carlos has the top over to Adam, right side outside. Yellowtail catches up with him. Linhart in underneath. That time, KJ went in there to tip it away, and he tapped it. It looked like it went off a knee, but it might have been his own anyway. It's off of KJ as he tried to get that entry pass, just didn't quite get deep enough to him. So turnover, and here comes Yellowtail. He brings it up to Tippett's left side outside. Linhart on him. Puts it on the ground, looks for help, gets it over to Tucker. Right side at the top, he takes a lane. He drives in. Oh, and Brandon moves over to try to help out. They're calling it that he moved over too late. That's a blocking foul.
Yeah, I agree there. He wasn't quite set as Tucker went to the basket. But the interesting thing I saw Tucker get by Carlos, and he tried to tip it from behind, but not able to do so.
So Tucker's going to get a pair here. That first one's up and rims out. So there's their first miss.
From the line.
From the line. We'll see if he gets a second one here. It's up, and it's good. Gives him a 3-point lead, 15-12. Carlos has the ball in bounds. Over to Adam on the right side. Throws it up to Austin quickly. Austin looks around, finds Brandon on the left side. Over to Carlos. Over to Adam. He's open for three. He'll put it up, and it's just long. Controlled by Falls Down. Yellowtail has it. He kicks it back, kicks it around. Tucker. Quick pass underneath the Dunn, who's underneath. Brandon right on his face. Good hand there. It's long, controlled by KJ. Gets it over to Adam. Here comes some pressures. Yellowtail's going to give him pressure coming up the floor. Adam breaks that.
You know what I like there? Adam was looking up the whole time, trying to see if somebody broke free there.
He was. Nothing opened up, but he got that ball up. Linhart now, right side, outside, dribbling around, finds Brandon right at the top. Oh, he tries to pass it to Adam underneath, but that's taken away by Tucker, and Tucker's going to go all the way in. Linhart gives him almost, well, kind of a token attempt there, but he goes right around and puts that ball off the glass and in for a 5-point Tongue River lead. Carlos brings it up. He dribbles it up. He goes all the way in, puts up an 8-footer. Brandon gets that rebound, puts it up. It's hard, long again, and controlled by Tongue Rivers. Here comes Yellowtail up the right side. Has it at the top, swings it over. I believe this is Tippett. Tippett's Linhart on him. Over to Falls Down, gets it over to Tucker. Carlos on him on the left side. Spins, puts up a jump shot about 12 feet. No good that time. KJ goes up and gets it, and that's going to be a foul on Dunn. Have that as his first. I'm interested to see who that other foul was, so I keep watching to see if I can pick up who that.
We have that missing foul at the end of that first period.
That's first on him, so I know it wasn't his.
16 fouls right now for Tongue River, 4 for Rocky Mountain. There again, Rocky seeing a full court pressure.
It's something that they saw most of the night last night as well. So gets it into Hawker, back to Linhart, lobs it down long for Hawker, puts it on the floor, gets it up to BJ. I'm sorry, to Brandon. Brandon gets over to, they pass around well. Linhart has it at the top. Swings over to Adam. He's wide open. Nope, he looks pass over to Hawker for three, and that's up and good. As Hawker gets on the scoreboard with his first basket, a 3-pointer tonight, cutting it to a 2-point game. Tucker right side, outside. He tries to go right side, and Hawker cuts him off. Back out to Yellowtail. He'll put up a 3, just short, controlled by KJ as he brings that down and definitely gets his position there. They get the ball to Adam, and everybody backs off. He walks it up. They've got the 2-3 zone going here, it looks like. Right side to Linhart, bounces it into KJ, takes a nice drop step, and they're calling the offensive foul on KJ as that drop step was a little too much into his man instead of around him. And I've got the first one on KJ there. So they've got 5 fouls, but just one on 5 different guys. 3:44 to play and a 2-point Tongue River lead. All right, here comes Yellowtail. He's got the ball, brings it up over to Tippett. Gets that ball over to Tucker. Tippett's at the top. Tippett puts up a jump shot, a long jump shot. That's going to go front rim, up and in for Tippett. I believe that was Tippett. Was that Tippett?
Yes, that
it
was.
was.
They break the press. Hawker brings it, gets it over to Brandon in that left corner, and it's good for 2.
For Brandon?
Yeah.
All right.
Yellowtail has the ball. He brings it up,
Not
gets
so.
it over to Tucker on the right. They swing it to Tippett, and then Yellowtail on the left wing.
Gets it back up to Tucker at the top, swings it back over to Yellowtail. They're going back and forth. That time, as he's standing there, he's shuffling those feet, just happy feet, and he's called for the travel there.
2:59 to go in the second. Tongue River leads it by 2, 19-17 right now.
Yeah, Rocky's going to get the ball. Linhart's going to bring it in. Again, that full court pressure's on him. Gets it into Hawker, right back to Linhart. Puts it on the floor once, gets it over to BJ. Brandon, back to Hawker, swings it over to Carlos. The 12-footer's up, and it's good. Good passing there. Sets up a nice shot. Here comes Hovey. Hovey brings it up to Tucker. Back out to Tippett. Quickly into Falls Down. Turns around. Carlos almost gets it from behind. Back out to Tippett. Puts it on the ground. Lobs that into the corner. It's up for 3. I think that's Tucker. It's just long. Controlled by, 3 Grizzlies as Brandon gets up and tips it, and Linhart takes it away. They were kind of fighting each other for that, but all 3 of them brought it down. Carlos has it at the top now. Tucker on him. Swings that over. Tries to get it to Hawker, but that's taken away by Dunn, but when Dunn misses that, no one was there for the block out, and
Tucker breaks it up and in.
Tucker puts that up and in for his, oh, I don't know, 11th point.
Yeah. Quickly they
the other
break
way.
the pass, and KJ's going to be fouled as he takes a shot.
Nice pass from Foster to Hawker over to KJ, and KJ just long on that, but he was lots of contact. So KJ gets to go back to the line here.
Aha,
for 2
there's
shots.
our missing foul. That was on Hovey, and
So
that's
his second.
and so there we are. That first shot is
No good for KJ, yep.
hit the front iron and didn't go over.
And Hawker's going to sit down now as Friedley comes in, and we've got another sub, it looks like, as Adams going to come in for Linhart. Minute 58 to play. Tongue River still up 2.
He'll get one more shot here from the line.
Second shot's up, and that one's good. 1 point game, 21-20 Tongue River. Tucker has it right side, Carlos on him. Drives down, and collides with his own man. It looked like traveling to me, but anyway, it's controlled by falls down. Back to Tucker, Tippett's at the top. He comes in, looks for a shot, and that time as he looks for the shot, he double pumps and moves his feet. That is a travel, and it's going to be a turnover. Grizz ball. Looks like Corp's going to come in, give Tippett's a break.
There again, Rocky Mountain seeing a little bit of pressure that comes about at half court pressure.
This half-court trap is set up again. This time Adam dribbles around it, tries to split 2 men, and this time he is bodied up by Dunn. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Dunn that's going to pick this one up. That'll put Adam to the line for a one-on-one. As he holds his right shoulder, that's kind of what got hit on a hip there, I think. Those hip bones can be kind of sharp.
Adam hasn't scored yet tonight, so this would be his first points if he's able to connect.
Be a good way to get him off the... And that one's up and good. He earns that second shot. Always nice to make those pay.
Ties us up here at 21, minute 31 left in the second.
Second shot's up and rattles around. It's out, but controlled by Friedley. Back to Alvarado, has it at the free throw line. Looks around, puts up a high floater about 15 feet or 12 feet, and it's long, taken away by Tongue River. Pushed up quickly. Tucker has it on the right side, gets it into Falls Down. Falls Down runs into KJ with some good defense. Just long on his shot. Foster takes it. Adam has it. He'll walk it up as he looks to coach. They bring it down, set up their offense. Minute 7 to play. Tie game. Adam has it at the top still. He's bouncing. Gets it. Tries to get over to Foster, who looks down at his hands. As that ball goes right through him and out of bounds. Must have taken the eye off the ball or something. I didn't see it. It was kind of below me, and I just saw him look up without it. But anyway, here we go. They bring it in. Corp, Hovey has it at the top now. Over to Tucker, left side outside. They screen across. They find Corp at the top of the block there. It's short, controlled by Friedley, and here comes Carlos as he brings it up. 45 seconds to go, and he holds it up. Gets it over to Adam. Adam has it at the top. 35 seconds to go, and he's just dribbling around. Over to Foster, right side, outside. Swings it around. Looking for somebody. Puts it on the ground, gets it back out to Carlos at the top. 25 seconds to go now. Carlos has it. He's looking around. It looks like they might almost decide to hold for a last shot now. Carlos goes right side, gets around his man. He lobs it in. He gets that into Friedley, and Friedley ends up banging into KJ, I think, as he managed to get around his man. And coming down the other way, Dunn has it at the top, over to Tucker. We're under 5. Tucker goes, and he does. He takes a step to fake, and then he picks up his other foot. He picks up the pivot foot, they say. He traveled. That's going to be a Grizzly ball. 3.6 to go in this tie game.
And let's see.
I didn't see what happened.
It's down right smack dab underneath it.
Looks like Tongue River must have tipped that out of bounds again because they're just taking it out again. 3.1 on the clock now. They're bringing it in. He's looking for help. He lobs it into Brandon. Brandon takes 2 steps, puts up a 3. It's off the bow, just off to the left. Short, no good. So at the half, we're going to be all tied up, 21 apiece.
I have to admit, a little bit different looking game tonight compared to last night. Even though Tongue River is, it looks like occasionally they're doing a half court pressure. Sometimes they're picking them up full court, but definitely not the speed that we saw last night when it comes to putting some pressure on Rocky Mountain.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
So
we have no halftime entertainment tonight, as all our dance teams from the elementary performed last night. For those of you who are wondering, our girls tonight were over at Tongue River. I have not heard as to yet how they've done. We do want to mention to those of you listening that you want to mark your calendars. December 18th, which is next Thursday night, Rocky will be over at Level, and for those of you wanting to come and cheer the Grizzly on, I'm sure they'd love that. So mark your calendars for next Thursday as Rocky travels over to Level. Girls and boys JV teams begin at 4, the girls varsity at 5:30, followed by the boys varsity at 7. If you're wanting to know when the next home game will be, it'll be after our Christmas break on January 9th, as Rocky Mountain will host the Burlington Huskies. Both the boys and the girls will be here that day, and start times there are JV girls start at 2:30, followed by JV boys at 4. Varsity girls at 5:30, and then varsity boys at 7 o'clock. So definitely mark your calendars there. Our freshmen will be playing on the 16th here at home. They'll host Cody, and then for those of you interested in our wrestlers, they have a duel on the 13th, the Wrangler duel, and maybe Richard can tell me what that is.
in Shoshone, the duel's in a lot of. I believe it's a dual tournament. Does it say duel? No, it's just the regular duels, as they will be able to duel, if it's the way it used to be, at least. Those duels tournament, you'd go in and your team could duel other teams, and then the winning team moved on to duel other teams. Not just an all-comers tournament where everybody gets into the same tournament, but the team duels other teams. And it's a good way to see how your team stacks up against other wrestling teams. I know so many times people think wrestling's an individual sport, but there's definitely a team aspect to it.
We'd also like to mention, for those of you who may not have had a chance to read it in the paper, that both senior Sean Thompson and junior J.R. Bazane took the championship at the wrestling tournament, or
at the PAL Invitational.
At the PAL Invitational this last weekend, and junior Casey Thompson placed second at that. And so congratulations to those wrestlers and for their efforts this last weekend. We've got about 6:40 left to go here at halftime. Richard and I are going to take a break and wet our whistle, and then we'll be back. Okay, we'd like to welcome everybody back. We've got about 2:20 left in halftime here as Rocky Mountain hosts Tongue River. We want to go over some stats here. Our score here at halftime is tied up at 21, and you look at some of our stats, and they're equaling out pretty well.
Yeah, as you'd imagine in a tie game, they are pretty even.
Yeah, so right now as far as rebounds, Tongue River are leading just a little bit. They've got 20 to Rocky Mountain 17. shooting percentages, right now the Eagles are 8 of 25, Rocky Mountain 9 of 27. So about equal amount of shots being taken, and one of the things we're noting is that Rocky Mountain's has gone 1 for 7 tonight from the three-point line, and Tongue River hasn't been able to connect on 3 of their three-point shots. You look at some turnovers. Our turnovers are pretty even, as Rocky Mountain has 8 and Tongue River has 7, and both teams have scored the same amount of points off of turnovers at 7. So equaling out pretty well there. Rocky Mountain with 11 defensive rebounds, the Eagles with 14, and then they're dead set even on offensive rebounds at 6. So overall, I think they're playing pretty well. One thing is you can't always wish. Well, you can wish shots will go in, but that won't necessarily mean they'll fall for you.
You can't wish them through the hoop. That's the truth.
Yeah, and so I think we were noting a little bit last night that where Alvarado and Hawker were our high point shooters last night, they're a little cold tonight,
yeah.
And right now our high point leaders comes from KJ Blackburn coming in off the bench with 7, and then he was followed by Hernandez with 6.
Last night, I think with Corey and Adam combined, it was almost 40 points, and tonight at the half, it's 4.
Yeah, you look at high points for Tongue River, and Tucker has 11 of their 21 points, so he's a player they'll have to kind of reckon with here.
He's gotten some second chance points there. He's been able to get those rebounds when he hasn't been blocked out, but here we go.
Hernandez will get the ball over to Alvarado in the right wing, tries to get it to Hawker, almost lost, but back to Alvarado. He'll drive towards the basket, can't get it to fall, but Friedley's there for the rebound, and he's going to be fouled as he tries to put it up and in.
That's going to be on Corp, his second foul. Foul trouble, there's 3 for Tongue River that have 2 fouls, and 5 with 1 foul for...
and actually I have 4
well,
now.
I have 4 now with
has.
that one for Corp, but 5 guys have 1 foul each for Rocky Mountain, so that first shot was up and no good.
Yep. Second shot's right on the mark. Rocky will take a 1-point lead. Bringing the ball up is Hovey. He's got it, swings it over to Corp on that right wing. And then they catch Tucker coming around the corner. He dishes it off to Irwin, falls down, and he's able to bank it up and in for an easy 2. They like to swing Tucker around they
run him around that double pick,
And he either takes it or dishes it off. Luis gets it down to Corey in that left wing or left corner, and then a lazy pass was almost taken away by Hovey, but Hawker able to tip it out and get it back. He gives it to Hernandez. He'll take a shot from 3-point range. That won't fall, and Alvarado comes up with the offensive rebound. They'll set it up at the top. Hernandez will have it. And then they swing it to Alvarado. He's going to drive towards the basket. And talk about collapse on a player going defensively wise. And Tucker's there in the passing lane to steal it. Hovey, who then dishes it off to Tucker for 2.
Open up a 3-point lead with that.
Yeah, I think I saw 4 Tongue River people stop at him as he drove towards the lane on that last play.
Oh yeah, they're collapsing and they're jumping the passing lanes right now.
Yeah, Hernandez trying to get it to Alvarado, almost gets it taken away as Tucker knocks it out of bounds. So need to sharpen those passes just a little bit. Luis gets it to Alvarado at the top. They swing it over to Hernandez on that right wing. Long pass. They leave Hawker wide open down underneath, and he banks it in for 2.
Normally a dangerous pass, skip pass into the deep man on the other side, but they collapsed so hard they left Corey all alone under there. Good pass.
Yeah. Corp tries to catch Tucker swinging around that left side this time, but Hernandez there to steal it. He'll drive it the length, can't get it to fall, but Luis there for the rebound. His shot won't fall, and it ends up in Hovey's hands. He quickly brings it up the court, looking for help, gets it to Dunn at the top, and then back to Tucker, over to Hovey, and he'll get it to Corp in that right corner, down to Dunn on the block and then taken away and tipped back to his teammates.
Good job by Gerardo there with a nice steal.
Yeah. Hernandez has it at the top. He's looking, gets it over to Alvarado on that right wing. Then back to Luis at the top. Not a lot of movement right now. They get it to Alvarado on the right wing. He takes a three. That's just off the mark. And Javi comes up with a long pass down to Corp, almost lost, and he kind of slid that pivot foot and got away with it. They get it to Tucker, then over to Javi in that right. Look, it's kind of at the point here. He'll turn around, get it to Dunn at the free throw line, and he'll shoot it up, and it'll go in. So, just like that, Tongue River leads at 27-24.
Just under 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter.
So Alvarado has it at the top. He swings it around to Hernandez and back to Alvarado. He's looking, gets a pick from Lane, and Lane actually broke a pick and roll, but they missed him, and he gets it over to Luis. Then over to Hernandez in that left corner. He'll drive towards the basket, little lob, and that goes in.
That was Carlos, I believe, and then we got a timeout.
Who did I say? Did I not say?
I think you said Luis, but I think it was Carlos who drove that side. That or you said it wrong and I'm hearing things, but
I could have easily said it wrong.
I'm watching there. That was another good pick set by Hawker, and as the man drove by, they left the pick man. I'm betting Coach is going to see that and start hitting some of those pick mans on the roll.
Yeah, we have a timeout here for those of you listening. I'm not sure who that was taken by as I was jotting down the points here, so I have to apologize. I'm kind of bouncing. I think sometimes I have to stop and think. I want to call them by their first name, but then sometimes I switch over to the last name for Rocky Mountain. And so for those of you out there, forgive me, as you know, I'm trying to most of the time go by last names, but Luis is, for my tongue,
Gerardo.
It gives me some trouble there. So, but here we go. Javi has it at the top. He's looking to Tippett, but he's guarded by Luis.
That's Adam, actually.
So, no, Luis. So,
oh, okay.
So, but sorry.
Tucker goes down the left side and puts that up for two.
But here comes Hernandez. He gets it to Adam at the top. So he's looking, gets it to Hawker, turns around, and back to Adam at the top. So he brings it over to that right wing and gives it to Hernandez. And Lane calling for the ball, but Hernandez keeps it, and he's going to swing it around to the top to Alvarado. He's guarded by Tucker. Adam thinks about driving to the lane, but pulls up, gets it over to Hernandez. They tries to dish it off to Freely, but Irwin falls down, gets it, but now it's a loose ball, and Carlos is there with some hustle along with Javi, and it's a tie ball.
He covers that up like a fumble on a football field and gets the tie up.
Yeah, he did. So possession arrow pointing to Tongue River, so they'll get the ball here. They lead by 3 right now with 3:18 left in the third.
Yeah,
Tucker, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Tucker gets it over to Tippett, then to Ern, falls down at the top. He swings around and dishes it off to a Javi. His shot won't fall, and Hernandez comes up with the rebound. He'll slow things down, bring it up to the top, over to Luis at the left wing. He gets it down to Hawker on the block, and then back to Luis, and a long pass up to Hernandez at the top for 3. That's just off the mark, and let's see, they called it.
Stay with Rocky Mountain,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, Lane went for it, and then looked like Javi tipped it out of bounds from Lane's hands. Coming in for Rocky Mountain will be Brandon Foster as Luis will take the seat.
Still a 3-point game.
Adam looking, gets it to Hernandez at the top. They'll set things up here. They get Hawker on that left wing and tries to get it to Foster, almost lost, but back to Hawker on that left wing. He'll dribble drive, and this time he'll go all the way in and bank it for 2.
Good setup with the crossover dribble there as he went back and forth.
Yeah. Javi has it at the top. He's guarded by Alvarado, swings it to Irvin, falls down on the left wing. He'll drive, dish it to Dunn. and then back up to Tucker, who is going to drive all the way to the lane and lob it up and in. That's one thing he does very well. If he gets the ball, he's driving to the basket.
I think that's his third or fourth finger roll that he's just dropped right in.
Yeah. So,
still a 3-point game, 2 minutes to go.
So Alvarado has it at the top. He gets it over to Hernandez in that right wing. They swing it down to Hawker on the right corner, and he kind of pulls it to the wing, gets it to Freely, and then over to Alvarado, who was open, but just off his hands and out of bounds.
Freely's going to sit down now as KJ Blackburn enters the game again.
Yeah.
Looks like Tibbetts is going to sit down now as Corp comes back.
So Hovey brings it into Tucker. And he swings it over to Dunn on this left wing, then back to Hovey at the top. Swings it over to Corp on the right wing, and they catch Dunn wide open out.
Wide open for a moment, but Hawker certainly closed that distance.
That was pretty, I have to admit there. It caught me in the whoa there, as a Hawker there for a block ball out of bounds as Dunn went up for that shot. So it will stay with Tongue River, however. They'll have it down underneath. Corp looking for somebody, can't find somebody, but catches Dunn at the very, very top. He swings it over to Hovey on that left wing. Hovey gets it to Tucker. And this could be an interesting matchup as Lenhart has Tucker, but Hovey brings it around to Dunn and then over to, I can't see Hovey in this left corner. Back to Dunn and then to Tucker on that right wing. He'll pull up for three. That banks in and out, but Irwin gets away with a little push, gets the rebound. His shot won't fall, and there to come down with it definitively this time was KJ. So,
when he gets it, he gets it.
Yeah.
Under a minute to play here.
Alvarado gets it to Lenhart, who drops it down to KJ, but he can't get that shot to fall, and Corp comes up with the rebound. Here comes Tongue River. They quickly get it down to Dunn in that right corner, back to Corp, and swings it around to Tucker. All the way around into the left corner, Hovey, and they catch Corp down underneath, and this time there will be no block, as I'm not sure if they're going to catch KJ or Brandon.
Well, they blocked it, but they blocked most of him, too.
Yeah. They won't get away with a block this time. So
second on KJ there. It's going to put Corp to the line for two. He's 2 for 2 there so far. And now he'll tie his shoe, which I can't say that I've seen before. And the first one rims out. The official handed him the ball. He looked down to dribble, and he set the ball down and tied his shoe. The 10 seconds are running on him, but he tied it quick and got it up.
It is running, and I won't say that's probably one of his routines when it comes to routine and shooting from the free throw line.
And I think it might have thrown him off because he just missed both of those.
Yeah.
Hawker with the rebound.
Yep. Alvarado has it at the top. He's guarded by Tucker. He brings it around. Looking, gets it to Lenhart on the right wing. And Foster was there, but then moved. And so taken away by Tongue River. Tucker gets it over to Yellowtail, who came in. And then stepping in the lane was Hawker, but couldn't get it. It fell right back to Yellowtail. Tucker has it at the three-point, thinks about his shot, but dishes it off to Irwin. And for a big guy, he shot that three, and it fell. Nothing but net.
Oh, and a shot by Adam Alvarado that looked like it was going pretty good. Just hit the light in the top of the ceiling. I don't think anything broke, but it knocked the light out.
Yeah.
As long as at least it's not giving us light, but there's no glass on the floor or anything. So.
Yeah. Our score here at the end of three, Eagles lead at 34-28, and I hate to say I'm not trying to narrow it down when you look at overall, because as a team, everybody contributes. But I remember Rob Johnson making a huge difference for this Tongue River team, and you look right at the scoring right now for Tongue River, and Tucker's their go-to man.
Yeah, he's got 17, and their next high is done with 6.
Yeah, so.
And on the Rocky side, we're just missing that big score. We've got 1 with 8. Carlos has got 8, and we have 2 with 7 with Hawker and Blackburn with 7 points. And then it drops off from there to 3 and a 2 and a 1. No one really shooting lights out. When you look at the shooting percentages, Corey's 3 from 4. Adam's still struggling. 0 of 8. He's still trying to shoot out of that, and we know Adam shoots well.
just not his night tonight.
Just got to keep shooting through that. That's all shooters can do.
Yep.
But he is working hard, always working hard. Here we go. Down 6. Last quarter. Foster has it at the top. Corp out on him, over to Hawker on the right side, puts it on the ground, drives it in, puts up a floater. It's long, controlled by Adam. Takes it back in, brings it back out, and Tucker's going to come out on Adam. Adam has it right side, gets it to Hawker, gives him a pick, he goes the other way. Hawker goes in, he's too deep, gets the ball to Linhart, out to
Foster
out to Foster, who was just short, and as the ball's going out of bounds, it got out of bounds. Turnover on the Grizz there.
You got to give Tongue River credit. They collapse on any drive towards the basket.
They do.
It's amazing.
Corp hasn't looked, he was trapped, but he gets it over to Tucker. The left side, over to Dunn. Swings it back out to Tucker. Looks around, finds Yellowtail with no one anywhere around him. He puts it up, it's long. No one blocks him out. He goes back and gets the ball. KJ blocks that shot, taken away by Brandon. Finds Linhart. He's looking around for some help. Gets it over to Adam, and Adam will walk it up. Tucker picks him up. Over to the left side. Hawker has it out to the three-point line. He's open, so he'll take that. He made his last one. That one was long. Controlled by Tucker. Up to Corp. He puts it up, and that's good. This Corp put that one up on the run for 2 more. Open up an 8-point lead now with just under 7 to play. Adam has it at the top. Swings it to the right side outside. Brandon has it. Looks into Linhart at the elbow. Back out to Hawker at the top. Puts it on the floor. Swings it into KJ. Gets that one up and in for his first points of the second half. A near steal there by Adam, but Tucker gets it up. And over to Yellowtail. Left side outside. Swings it into Falls Down. Looks around for help. Lobs it over. We got 2 guys in the same spot. As Yellowtail has it right side. They're swinging around. I believe it's done then over to Corp. Back to Tucker at the top. Adam on him. Swings it back over to Corp. Will put up a 3. Just long. He follows the shot. It's out there, and it's going to be off of someone off green as Hawker let that one go, and it was a good idea there. And Brandon is going to sit down now as Carlos comes back in for him. And Linhart is going to inbounds that ball. 6 minutes to go, 6-point game. Adam brings it in. He'll walk it up. Tucker meets him at three-quarter court. Gets it to Hawker, looks at the back screen, there's nothing there, looks around, back out to Alvarado. A little bit of room, he's looking around. He's got a double screen there, goes around, Hawker screen, comes back, he's just dribbling around on the top. Gets that over to Carlos, right side outside, puts it on the ground, Yellowtail on him. He's looking around. Yellowtail's still on him, gets over to Linhart, left side outside, he's outside the three-point line, he'll put it up, and it's good as Linhart gets on the board with a 3, and then Carlos picks him up. Yellowtail turns around, doesn't know he's there, and travels as he reacts. 3-point game now, and that's going to go back to the Grizz. 5:25 to play, and Tippett's coming in for Corp.
We'll see if Rocky Mountain can delve into that 3-point lead there by Tongue River.
And right underneath, you've got, yep, there it was. He found him. Oh, and it rolls off as Linhart was wide open. Carlos found him, and that layup just bounces off. Coming up the floor here.
We got a timeout here by Tongue River.
Kind of a bailout timeout as his kid was in the air when the timeout was called. It's all right. The pass was completed, so it was all right. But
Tongue River seeing a little pressure right then by Rocky Mountain, and luckily that's what a good coach does. When he sees his team is in a little bit of trouble, he takes that timeout. So 5:20 left to go in the fourth. Tongue River leads it 36-33 right now.
Well, and you can see the momentum has definitely changed here as of late, and I think the coach sees that 3-point lead, sees a little bit of chaotic play, calls that timeout to calm everybody down. We come back out with KJ, with Blackburn, Hawker, Linhart, Hernandez, and Alvarado. And they're going to concede that inbound. They get it into Falls Down, over to Tucker. Right side outside, Hawker on Tucker now. That's a different matchup than we've seen. Carlos over here on Dunn. Gets it to Yellowtail. Left side way outside, Adam on him. Over to Dunn. Back out to Tucker at the top. Now to Tippett, who picks up his dribble, and now he needs some help as he bounces it into falls down. Back out to Tucker, who thinks about a long three, but just trying to get a reaction there. Kicks that ball out to falls down, puts about a 15-footer, does not draw iron, tries to bounce it back in and misses his man right into falls down, who's right underneath, misses it. Linhart takes it away and gets it to Alvarado. Pretty good defensive stance there as they moved around. They come up with the ball here. Adam has it at the top. He's looking around for help, gets it to Hawker, right side outside. KJ's got his man boxed off. There's the lob into KJ, looks in, off glass, and that's up and in for KJ. In quick Yellowtail, he's kind of getting a trap. He gets it to Tucker, still looking at this full court trap from the Grizz. Swings it over to Dunn, who lobs it down to falls down, who puts up another three, and he's feeling it. That's his second in a row for three-point land. Up to a 4-point lead there. 4 minutes to play. Adam will walk that up.
He gets Tucker.
Hawker, right side outside. Skip pass way over to Alvarado. He's open. He puts up a three. Oh, just short. As Adam's shooting woes for tonight just continue. But again, that's all you can do.
We keep trying. So
brings the ball up. It's Tucker on the right side. And he palms that ball as he tries to come around Hawker. He turns it all the way over and gets called for it before the contact.
So 3:40 left to go in the fourth. Tongue River by 4.
Adam walks that up. Looks over at the coach, calls out the play, and Tucker will pick him up at the top. Over to Hawker, left side outside. Dunn on him. Linhart looking for some help, gives him a pick. He goes away from it. Over to Alvarado, spins. He's down underneath. He's going to bring it back out and set it up. Tucker's out on him. Over to Corey at the top. Swings it underneath Lawson, puts it off the ground. One bounce up and in for Linhart. And here's that pressure again. 2-point game, just over 3 to play. And it's taken away by Alvarado. Takes it in for a layup. And there's Adam getting on the board with his first field goal of the night, tying this game up at 39. And again, they bring in that pressure, and that time Adam got a little too close. He's going to be called for the foul.
Yeah, smart thing there, Tongue River. Yellowtail, I think, little bit younger player as he's a freshman, and so where they were able to put that pressure last time caused a turnover. This time they made a wise choice getting it into Tucker to try and bring the ball
And as
down.
we mentioned, that freshman, he'll sit down, and a senior comes in for him, Tippett. A sophomore, I'm sorry, he's just a sophomore, but Tippett is in the game, and here's that full court pressure again. He gets it over to Hubby, and again slapped away by Carlos. He almost takes that away.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Hubby came in quickly there for Yellowtail.
And that count was getting high on that 10-second call too, but we'll have to watch here. They get the ball into Tucker. He's going to dribble it up, nearly stolen away again. And when he was trying to dribble around, he turns that ball over again. He's called for it twice, and he's asking for a foul, and the official says, thanks, give me the ball. As that ball, he does, as you see a lot of kids do, put that hand all the way underneath it and turn that ball over. Into Carlos, comes down the right side. He drives, bounce pass to Hawker underneath. That's up and in for Hawker. Nice little pass there. I don't remember who was driving, but again, full court pressure. This time Tucker breaks it, comes all the way around. He loses the ball, and underneath, Hubby puts it up, taken away by Hawker. He's got someone behind him, but he covers it up with 2 hands. Gets that ball to Adam Alvarado, and now it's 2:20 to play. Rocky with a 2-point lead. Adam right side. Tucker goes after it. And are they calling the foul? I don't think they're calling a foul. It just knocked it out of bounds, and we've got a timeout for Tongue River. 2:18 to play. Now a 2-point Rocky Mountain lead.
That was a full timeout there by Tongue River.
And tonight we're playing a team that's bench doesn't seem near as deep as we did last night. And their players are getting tired along with ours. So
yeah, there again, defensively, I think if they can hold Tucker a little bit, and the other player that I remembered him from last year was this Irwin Fallsdown, and he's there again. He's their big guy. But
he's playing 5 for them, and he's hit 2 3-pointers.
Yeah, and so that's impressive when you've got somebody his size that can step out that far and still nail it for you. So
yeah, Tongue River is 2 for 7 from the 3-point line, and both of them from their center.
Yeah.
So
and you know what? They're a pretty shot. He's got some great form, and they've been nothing but net both times.
Yeah.
You know, defensively, what do you do? I mean, you're a big guy. Normally, you don't expect your big guy to be able to shoot from out there, so you give him a little space, but he's definitely made him pay from that mark tonight.
All right, Hawker has the ball in now, 2:15 to play. And he throws it right away as Tippett steps right into the passing lane. He goes down the other end, long on that layup. It's tipped back out, controlled by Dunn. Out to Tucker. They set it up as we've kind of abandoned the bounce pass here, and it's kind of bit us a few times. But here we go. Tippett has it at the top. Over to Hovey, left side, or the right side, underneath the Dunn. And then Hawker says, thank you, I'll take that, as he comes in the passing lane. And he comes in pretty hard. He controls the ball, gets it. Oh, my goodness. Gets that ball and touch passes it right over to Linhart for 2. And that was just a beautiful play. Into Hovey at the elbow. They find Tippett's at the side. Hawker gets up, contests it. Shot is missed, controlled by Carlos, and he races it up the left side and then slows it down. Then he looks again. He comes in, gets it back to Hawker. Minute 25 to play, 4-point Rocky lead. They pass it around a little. Adam outside. He's not in a big hurry now. Carlos has it at the top. He's going to wait for someone to come out. And they're just going to dribble. We've got about a minute 10 to play, and they're going to force these guys to come out. Corey has it at the top. Dunn out on him. Oh, swings that over. Carlos gets to it. And we have at a minute 2, we had a whistle, and I thought it might have been a foul, but unfortunately it was a timeout from the bench. His coach is going to talk it over. It might have opened right to a drop step to an open layup.
But it's just at that moment. What do you say? Coaches can't always time it right.
When coach says timeout, the guy's trapped in the corner. Next thing you know, he's wide open underneath. But
he's able to bounce it down to Austin, who just had the right angle and would have had an open shot down underneath. Still, it was a
pretty good timeout. He thought the guy was trapped there. It's a minute 2 to go. 4-point lead, you want to make sure you get what you need out of this possession, that they're either going to foul you. Now, fouls, that's not even an issue. This whole half, we've had 3 fouls called, 2 on Rocky, 1 on Tongue River, and I think, if anything, it's been pretty even. I don't think either team's getting away, and they're playing pretty clean ball.
Yeah, I will admit, sometimes you might look at the fouls and think, they've called not enough, or they've called too many, but this officiating crew, I think, has done a real good job tonight.
And while both sides are playing hard, this is definitely not a sloppy game. It's definitely not a playground throw the ball game. And it's not to that breakneck tempo that we saw last night, to where so many fouls are going to get called because guys just can't slow down. A more in-control game all the way around. Oh, and a young man spilled his popcorn right on the corner of the floor.
We'll have to bring that up with Coach Simmons afterwards.
But Principal Windland's right there. He cleans it up, and here we go. He brings it in. He gets it to Corey. Outside. They're bouncing around. They don't want Carlos to have it, but they get it to him anyway. Dunn outside. Carlos comes down the right side. He dribbles all the way through, and he puts up a layup. For some reason, it's short. It's bouncing around. Linhart gets it, controls that loose ball, back out to Adam at the top.
44 seconds left here.
Adam dribbles around, dribbles back out. He's going to make him catch up, and Carlos steps around some people. Gets a pick from Hawker, goes around, gets it back over to Adam Alvarado at the top, back over to Carlos at the top, and they're chasing us around. Corey outside, under 30 to play. They're up on Corey. He goes left side, gets around Dunn. Tucker on him, but now he cuts around and wide open underneath, and that's a nice play. As Hawker looks up and finds Carlos wide open cut into the basket, and it's stolen again by Carlos. 6-point lead, and now Carlos under 10 to play. Now Carlos is going to dribble it around. Tucker tries to get, he's trying to make something happen. 6-point lead now, under 10 to play, and with that foul there, no shots are going to be taken. That's just the second foul. But it's going to be a pretty miraculous comeback to tie this up now. And
Tongue River saw full court pressure off of that made shot there, and
I don't think they were expecting it.
I don't think either. And Carlos able to get in the passing lane.
And Carlos has got the ball now. He lobs it over to Corey, and that's going to ice it. We're under 5 to play, and they're just going to let that run out, I think, now. Yep. Corey picks it up, Dunn's out of him, but he knows it. And that is time. As again, you can see a group of seniors, a group of experienced guys from all they learned last year. At the end of the game, when it gets tight, they pull this one out and they take a lead and then keep it a 6-point lead, 45-39. I know we're going to have Coach Simmons up here in a few minutes to talk with us, and we'll share that with his comments. And
yeah, we're trying something new. So for those of you who'd like to hear from Coach Simmons, bear with us. We've never done a little post-game interview. They asked us to try this, and so we will do our best. But bear with us for our first time here tonight doing that. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he's going to give him a couple minutes. He's obviously got to talk to his team a little bit. But just a good showing. Some stats you can run through.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get their attention, make sure they don't take our stats away from us quite yet. But you look here, overall, let's go down our scoreboard first. High point tonight for Rocky Mountain was Hernandez with, KJ came back here with 11 there. Hernandez follows closely with 10, Hawker with 9. I've got Lenhart with 7, followed with Alvarado and Freely with 3, and Foster with 2 for. Am I looking at the right? I am.
Yeah.
Double checking right here for our total of 45. For Tongue River tonight, our high point leader that they were able to shut down there mostly in the fourth period was Tucker with 17. He at the third period, when they had 34 points, he had 17 then of their 34. So he did not score at all in this fourth period, which was a huge factor there. Coming in right after him was Erwin Falls down with 8, 2 of those being from the three-point line. Dunn had 6. Corp had 4, and both Tippett and Yellowtail with 2 for their 39 points. And they almost took my stats away from me as the computer's doing some funky things here. But
one thing I do want to point out while we're here, 14 assists tonight for Rocky Mountain, 8 of them from their big man Corey Hawker, who last night was able to score some points. Tonight had some assists, so 8 assists. It's good to see from there, and we're talking here, and I probably will turn it over to Richard. He's more quick at thinking than I am, and we'll let him talk as Coach Mike Simmons comes up and to visit with us about this game. Well, we are here with Coach Simmons at the end of a game here, at the end of a hard-fought, fun game again, kind of like last night's game. Different tempo, though, Coach, and what are your thoughts? Any thoughts on tonight's game? Or
Tongue River definitely brings a different tempo to the game. Obviously the Indians play a more up-tempo game. Larry Mosier's teams are always very disciplined. They shot great free throw percentage. They did have a couple kids who were out last week because of eligibility and some training rule things. So this is kind of their first weekend with their starting 5, 6, 7 kids. They're definitely going to be a team that will improve. And every year that I've been in Wyoming, they have a team down in the state tournament. And they are a good team. And
they always seem to perform well when it comes to tournament time. Now, I remember last year it was a different team with Rob Johnson on that team who kind of controlled and took over. Tonight it seemed like, at least for 3 quarters, it was Michael Tucker. But as we noted here, in the fourth quarter, your team was able to hold Tucker to no points. He had 17 in the first 3 quarters. That was half of their points at that time, and you held him to no points. Was there an adjustment? We saw different people were on him towards the end of the game. Any adjustments you did that?
Michael Tucker's one of the players that did come from last year's team with Rob Johnson's over at Black Hill State right now playing basketball. And we did make some adjustments at halftime, trying to put different people on him, keep fresh legs on him. It's not a defensive scheme to hold a guy to 0 points. You hope for that, but he missed a couple shots, and we did play great defense, but he's a good player, and you're not going to hold him to a goose egg very many nights, even in a half.
Right. When speaking kind of along that lines, is it was our top scorer last night for the Grizz, had a rough night tonight, Adam, as I think he went 1 for 10. It was nice to get that layup. It was an important time, and a senior comes up big at the end as he continues to play hard, lead his team, and we saw that a lot tonight. We were commenting earlier how you've got a lot of seniors on this team, and that got a lot of good experience from last year, and when the game was tight and even a little bit behind at the end of the third quarter and come into the fourth quarter, they turned things around. They took control of the game, and they said, we're not going to lose on our court. We're not going to let this happen. And we saw them do that again last night and almost pull that out. A lot of it, I guess, my opinion and what I see is just they just won't get outworked. And I'm reading notes from my wife too, but it sure is fun to watch this team that works so hard, top to bottom. When someone comes in, the guys on the floor expect them to work, and that's something that they do. So. But overall, I really enjoyed that game again. It's a little bit of a different team this year, but certainly a fun team. Enjoying watching these guys play.
Well, and I hope that as we improve every night, we'll continue to get better. I felt that we didn't do very well executing our offense in the first 3 quarters. It kind of took till the 4th quarter before we were able to get some things clicking. And I don't know if we were emotionally and physically spent from last night, because it was an up-tempo game. And then there were some emotions involved in last night's game. It was, for kind of our first weekend for these guys in their home gym. And I think they were emotionally and physically exhausted. And you'd hope that on your own floor with your crowds, you can find a way to play through that. And I think that probably cost us a little bit earlier in the game.
Well, you can see bringing in the number 1 team in the Chiefs last night and having that bounce-back game after just a heartbreaking loss at the end of that game, I think there has to be a lot of emotion that's spent, and it took them a little while to get into the game. But again, good seniors, that leadership that seemed to step up and take this team through it. And then when it came to the end of that game, they were able to pull that out. Now, another note there that my wife brought in, it's not just those starters, that bench, the people who came off the bench tonight, some big contributors, including KJ Blackburn, who was the high scorer for Rocky tonight. Austin Linhart came off, scored 7 big points, and were really able to help this team when they came off the bench. And it's nice to be able to go to that bench, have some bigs and some smaller guys that can come in and give good minutes. So.
A lot of people consider that we just lost Caleb Boardman last year, the one senior, and that everything else is kind of the same. The thing that does make our team different this year was Austin Lenhart was out all last year with a football injury, so he didn't play at all. He's getting some minutes. Brandon Foster was a freshman last year. He didn't play up, so we have a sophomore that's playing up now, getting some minutes. A couple contributors that are kind of key, and as a coaching staff, we're having to work through new rotations. It's not as easy as just replacing the one Caleb Boardman. A point guard's never easy to replace, but we have to replace that, and then we also have some new people to try to fit into that piece. Adam Alvarado played a lot of it too last year. I think last night I'd consider him kind of lucky to play a point guard position and still get 20 points up last night. That's not going to happen every night, and he's been told that, and we're okay if Adam scores half a dozen to a dozen points if he can control the tempo and do the job of a point guard. We will try to find other people that can play that role so that we can use Adam shooting. But until we have that established, Adam may have some nights that he's not putting up the points like he has in the past.
Yeah, well, it seemed like it was a really good, hard-fought game. Now, your next team, you've got Lovell coming up. And what do you know about Lovell? Any thoughts on the Lovell team?
We have Lovell Thursday and Burlington on Saturday. A 3A team that's in the top 5 right now, and then Burlington, a 1A, but first place in their division. So they are 2 tough teams. Lovell did lose a couple big guys. I believe that Checkett's coming off of the bench. Last year, he's as good as their bigs last year, and he's contributed last weekend. I haven't seen any film on him. Statistically, though, he's putting up a lot of points. As far as their perimeter play, most of those people return, except for Durkee because of his arm, that injury. But everybody else, they kind of return, and they're a salty team.
Yeah, I know. I remember last year watching Hiram Checkett off the bench. Just a hard-working kid, always moving. Geyser, of course, will be back. So that'll be a good game to look forward to on Thursday then, and then Burlington on Saturday.
2 tough games next week. We're going to Christmas.
you just don't get any easy ones here before the break.
No.
So, well, Coach, we appreciate you coming up and talking to us. We're looking forward to that game on Thursday, and congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.